Okay, here I am with the main version of Argos. When it comes to the main dude that I like to play as an Elden Ring, I like to name him Ibrahim. Don't ask me why, it's just a name that I picked from one of the starting runs, and it's one that I stayed with the entirety of these. So let's see. Okay, there's a current amount of runes. I'm gonna try to see if I can't liberate Fort Heights. There we go, Vagabond set with the Old Aristocrat's Call. Perfect. Okay, good, just checking to see that everything here looks as it should, and it does. So let's see, if I can on a crossbow, will that make me unencumbered? So yeah, as Kenneth said, there is a knight from Stormveil that is obsessed with blood, who has commandeered his keep. And now I'm just going to see if I can't liberate it. Ignore these demi-humans. They're actually trying to save the keep from the Godric soldiers. They're working with Kenneth. They're also hostile towards us. Before I forget, I'm gonna pop a Silver Pick Alpha to see if I can get some good items here. So a big thing to look out for here, while with these Godric soldiers, is also a Mad Pumpkin Head. That's part of Godric's forces for some reason. This one is the same variety that you can find in the Witchbane, in the recent ruins, and he killed me. So yeah, this version of the enemy is the same one you can find in the Witchbane ruins. You can potentially get that flail that he uses as a weapon drop. Its stats are basically the inverse of the foil that you find in the tunnel. I mean, not in the tunnel, the foil that you find at the Gatefront Ruins. It requires... Where the foil from the ruins requires 10 strength and 18 dexterity, the foil that you can get from the Mad Pumpkin Head requires the opposite amount of stats. 10 dexterity and I think 18 strength. Basically the strength foil of this game. Oh, nice. And that guy managed to moon jump onto the rocks. Good for him. Okay, it's down. Got his soul. Got his helmet and smithing stone. So yeah, the demi-humans here and the Godric soldiers are hostile. Oh. Go. Okay, killed him. Got Sanctuary Stone off of him. If you're lucky, you can potentially get the foil that he uses as a weapon drop. Pretty damn rare. As far as I'm concerned, you'd be better off using the starting foil. The big reason why I have the Foot active is because of these civilians here. You can potentially get their equipment once you kill them. And over here in Fort Hike, you can get tons of blood roses. Oh, and a Bernard Aberrath, nice. And yeah, the civilians here are pretty dangerous because they can throw explosives at you, and those explosives will ignite the gunpowder that are in the barrels around here. Not to mention the fact that there are rodents around here. Just gonna put the lantern on so that I can see. A glass shard from that civilian, not anything of real value. The real valuable stuff that you can get from these civilians are their armor. You can potentially get their garb and their helmet. This isn't the only place where you can farm the commoners for their equipment, though. This is just the most recent spot where you can do it. Oh, that guy dropped a shiny. Let's hope it's something valuable. And it's more glass. So, this soldier here is the soldier that Kenneth was talking about, the one that's obsessed with blood. You can get a particularly powerful Ash of War from him. Upon taking him out. And upon death, he nets you the Bloody Slash Ash of War, which is a pretty powerful attack. Basically coat your weapon in blood and fling it at the enemy, and it deals good damage. There's also a pretty palpable shiny up here. Okay, I'm just going to... Oh, whoops. Sorry about the weird camera placement. I'm just going to adjust the... screen a bit. Oh. Exit out of this. Close this. I did some build prep with this guy. I'm gonna upload it in a separate video. Just me running around the map, getting the claymore, and using it to just mop the floor with some of the bosses. And over here we got one half of the Dectus medallion. So yeah, as I said, you could try to farm the commoners for their equipment. I wouldn't recommend it though. Honestly, it's not worth it. I didn't get the catacombs on this guy, so I want to go and do that. Once you kill the knight, all of the Godric forces will leave the keep. The good thing about the Great Epee is that it is a large weapon. Oh, wonderful. It's raining wolves. Ah, shit. Oh. Got some red meat off those wolves. You can use the flesh to make healing items. So, big landmark you want to move towards is this ruin over here. I'm gonna put a marker. just to show where it is. Put a little plant marker here to show that there's resources you can harvest. For whatever reason, this area is loaded with smoldering butterflies. You can harvest them all around here. This section of Wingrave is very good for getting crafting materials. Also, speaking of crafting, that cookbook, it allows you to craft blood grease and blood arrows. And the reason why I'm activating the pickled fowl-foot here is because there is a Godric soldier in the area that has a where you want to harvest. The good thing about using a large weapon like the Great Epee with enemies that are on horseback is that you can stun the horseback enemies with a large weapon and make quick work of them. Now I want to see if I can make my way over to those ruins. Yes, I can. And over here you can get the Great Lance. It's a Great Spear type weapon. I personally prefer the Vagabond's Halberd, mainly because the Vagabond has sufficient stats to use it from the onset, as opposed to the lance, which you would need a bit more dexterity and a bit more strength in order to utilize, but the lance is a stronger weapon as far as its physical attack is concerned, so, you know, they have their pros and cons. Marvelous ending game. Okay, let's get some distance in from the soldiers here. Big threat here are the knights. The dogs are a distraction, the soldiers are moderate threat, but the knight is the real threat. You can get their equipment. So if you want to get the knight's equipment, I would recommend farming that horseback knight up on the cliff, since he respawns, and it's much easier to kill the knights that are on horseback. Oh, but I got his greatsword. And some gauntlets. Salted flesh on that body, and over here is a box. Box has a decent piece of equipment. Beastcrest Heater Shield is a, again, decent piece of equipment. It has comparable stats to the Vagabond's Starting Heater Shield, and comparable stats to the Eclipse Heater Shield. I prefer the Eclipse Heater Shield, mainly because the Eclipse Heater Shield starts with no skill as its default ability, where the Beastcrest Heater Shield, which the lion on it looks like part of the flag of Spain, which is cool. Nice bit of nationalism there. At least in my case, because I'm Spanish. Anyway, yeah, up and around here is the Saint's Bridge Grace. Did I already get the gesture from Alexander? Triumphant Delight? Yes, I did. Okay. I'm gonna put finger snap-on in place of point forward. And instead of jump for joy, I'm going to put point forward. There we go. So yeah, coming up is a catacomb that's filled with skeletons. And the Knight's Greatsword is a pretty good piece of equipment. It has the same moveset as the Mira Greatsword from Dark Souls 2, later renamed to the Hollow Slayer's Greatsword in Dark Souls 3. It's a big difference between its moveset compared to the Claymore and Lordsworn sword is that it has a cool little swishy swish. to all of its attacks, as opposed to the other great swords where you just slam it down. Okay. And yeah, Flame of the Redmane's still just completely trolls on the Great Hero of Zamar, by the way. Even though it doesn't deal as much poise damage, it still deals moderate fire damage. Speaking of Sacred Blade, you want to use it here in these catacombs to take out the enemies, as these catacombs are home to some skeletons. One of the locations where you can get the Death Root. That reminds me, do I... Yeah, I have the Death Root from killing the Tibia Mariner. Oh, that's good. Reed Resin's always a good find. Good for crafting shit. And there are two main types of catacombs in Elden Ring. One that is home to skeletons, and one that is home to imps. These have the skeleton enemies. Sacred Blade is your best friend here, since it kills the skeletons and prevents them from respawning. If you're lucky, you can potentially get the scimitar weapon from the skeletons here, as well as the longbow from the skeletal marksman. I got the shiny, hopefully it's his weapon. Arrows. That's fine. If you want to get the longbow, you can also buy it from the Twin Maidens in the... Also buy it from the Twin Maidens in the Round Table. Along with the scimitar. Here's the weapon that I really want, the Fuji Katana. It's a katana, so it has bleed. It also has Unsheath as its main ability, which is pretty damn powerful. More arrows, always a good find. Over here is a skeletal marksman. I have no idea how to get him to spawn. I think you have to drop off the platform and he reforms upon hitting the ground. There are also tons of skeletons around here. Again, Sacred Blade and or Hammer makes quick work of these guys. If you're lucky, you can potentially get the scimitar to drop some skeletons. You can get the scimitar and their shield. I don't think that guy dropped anything. Also, bit of advice here. The moment that you get close to the switch here, the skeletons over by the entrance reform and come after you. Thankfully, they're pretty slow, and if you have Sacred Blade or Holy Water Pots, you can make quick work of them. At this point. And the boss fight is available now. I could try killing these guys to get the scimitar, but I'm not really interested. I have the Falchion, and the Falchion is objectively better than Scimitar as far as its damage is concerned. Scimitar is better as far as moveset is concerned, but, you know, they're comparable weapons. Just gonna rest up here at the brace. If I'm correct, I do have the proper stats needed to use the Uchi Katana, and it'll come in handy for the boss here. As well as, it'll also come in handy for the boss in the Murkwater Catacomb. So here we have a Black Knife Assassin. As you can see, her health is lower than that of her peers. She's injured. Appears to have taken some traumatic injury to her chest, and it wouldn't surprise me if she had some form of traumatic brain injury, because she is not using the full breadth of attacks that her compatriots have. Either way, she's dead. From her, you get a Death Root, as well as the Assassin's Crimson Dagger, which is a pretty good accessory to use. It allows you to gain health upon performing a critical hit on an enemy, and it's quite useful. Oh, now I'm gonna go clown on the boss of Murkwater, and I'm going to see if I can't just easily ruin the day for one bloody finger in Arius. I'm gonna wait until after I kill the boss, too. Oh, wait, before I forget. Over here, up above on this body, there's a body up above here that has a, silver pill foot. You, my friend, are rude. As you can see, the, meat blobs here are very weak to blunt damage. Or no, they're not blunt damage, they're very weak to bleed damage. Okay, so might as well show the location of some, gold pickled fowl feet that you can acquire early on. So from here in Windgrave on the first step, where you can chat with Avara. Go down and over to... Oh, and the ball killed me. Yeah, you want to first drop down to that slope there to make the fall a bit easier. There's a merchant over here, one that I would call the Paranoid Merchant, due to the simple fact that he is constantly worried that you're going to do harm to him. Okay, you want to go down here. Cross to here. Gonna find some tarnished wood sunflowers here, it's always useful. More importantly, here on the edge, you'll find a spirit spring. Thankfully, the area of effect for the spirit springs has been increased, allowing you to brace your falls from a further distance than landing directly on the spring, which is quite good. Anyway. Ow. Let's see. Why don't I use some bleed grease? Come in handy against the enemies here. And I can always craft more. That cookbook. Rude dudes. Anyway. Over here's some cool nuts, you can fill them with pinions and your foul feet if you want. Foul feet is relatively uncommon or relatively, well, it's more common from the Kulamots than from the Stormhawks. Anyway, I'm going to put this on, and the reason why is because there's a cave here, and I would like to activate freeze. So the Paranoid Merchant, as I like to call him, set up camp underneath this ruined amphitheater.
What do you need? I don't want any trouble.
Got some good stuff. Mainly smithing stones, cookbook, weapons, and some boluses. The cookbook that he sells allows you to craft neutralizing boluses, but you can always buy some from him.
All done? Well, be on your way.
So in order to craft the neutralizing boluses, you need cave moss, herbs, and dragonfly eggs. There's a surprisingly enough, all these boluses require different animal parts to make, like the Neutralizing boluses require... I was gonna say, if I get the club from him, I'm gonna be mildly disappointed. Anyway. The cave is right through here. This is the coastal cave. And yeah, the broadsword's a pretty good weapon. It allows for slashing, but it doesn't allow for any pokes. You can technically poke with Square Off's heavy attack, but the normal moveset doesn't allow for it. Or rather, I say, although technically you can't poke with it, unofficially you can through the weapon art. Broadsword is also the starting equipment of the Professor class. So now I'm going to go clown on the boss here in Murkwater Catacombs and see if I can't take out the Bloody Finger Nereus. Note that I'm using an unupgraded katana here, just to show how good Bleed is in the early game. Okay, nothing from him. Hopefully, I'm gonna clean house here either way, just to see if I can get their head here to drop. I did spawn it in using a code editor, but I want to see if I can get a video reviews. Not sure if I hit the switch yet, so let's do that. Traps here come in handy for taking out the imps. Case in point. Smithing stone, always good. Oh, I already hit the switch here. Did I also pull this here? No, I did not. Okay. Like I said, Bleed just completely sharts all over the challenge here. Ow. Oh no, I'm getting ganked. Oh no, I'm getting ganked. Run away, run away. Okay, killed one. Killed the other. Drop a shiny. Living stone. Good. Ow. Yeah, these imps are basically... They have the same AI as the Thrall enemies from Dark Souls 3. Complete with having a tiny axe with quick step. So now then, for this boss, I want to equip and or make some blood grease. It'll come in a lot of handy here. So this is the Grave Warden Duelist. Just thought I'd match him pound for pound as far as armor is concerned. I got Bleed and we beat him for a critical. Nice. Okay, it's down. It's out of a dose of mine. Thankfully, when you don't have any focus, you can still pull off the weapon art of your weapons. The only caveat is that it has less damage to both physical and stance damage. Just thought I'd pop the foul foot there. And is there anything else of value here? He did drop the ashes of one Vanished Knight, Inkval, who is a very powerful summon. Being a Banished Knight from Stormveil, he uses storm magic in his attacks. So with the scale armor, iron gauntlets and leather, just so that I have some quality armor that's a bit lighter. And now, I would like to make my way over to Ionia. I don't think I talked to Blythe yet, so I should do that also. There's also an tree here where I can get some fireflies and some gear. Okay, so let's see. I believe I'm close to the path that I want to take. Oh, and now that I've liberated Fort Height, I can go talk to Kenneth, and he'll propose to knight me, and he'll also give me a pretty solid piece of equipment. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Vagabond is the best starting class because you have almost enough intelligence and faith to use magic. You're literally 1 point away on both. Oh, there's a sleeping rune bear here. Bleed is your best friend when it comes to fighting him. 3 heavy attacks with Unsheath are enough to break his guard. Three heavy attacks with sufficient focus are enough to break his guard. Again, bleed is just disgusting in the early game. And remember what Kala said about the howling of a wolf in the Mistwood? Well, if you use the finger snap gesture, you'll get Mr. Wolf to jump off his perch over there. Smithing stone. Here 2, always a good find. And over here, we will find Mr. Wolf.
Who goes there? Carly sent you, did he? Ever the bloody busybody. Maybe to him you don't seem so strange. The name's Blythe. I'm looking for a man who goes by Darrowell. He fled somewhere nearby. Or so I've heard. Come tell me if you find him before I do. I can offer you ample reward.
Anyway, Darwell is our first mark.
Darrowell is nothing but a traitor, and in need of a fitting end to his tale.
Understood. So, yeah. There is an Everjail here by Agio Lake South, so maybe that has something to do with it. Anyway, first things first, I would like to help take care of Bloody Finger Nereus. But first, I should upgrade my gear. Oh, speaking of gear, there's a weapon I can get over in Port Gale. See if I can get my paws on it. It does require spelunking through the catacombs. But in all honesty, that should be, easy enough to pull off with the Great Epee, for example. Oh, glowing skull, you know what that means. You can break it. Golden rune. And yeah, that Rat Dropper rune arc. Shard of the Elden Ring grants a blessing of an equipped Great Rune upon use. Even if no Great Rune is equipped, it slightly increases maximum health upon use. The lower arc of the Elden Ring is said to be the basin for which the blessings pool. Perhaps this shard originates from that very arc. And yeah, as you can see over here, the giant dog is busy laying waste to a lot of the enemies here. There are some Radon soldiers. And some miners. I believe I already got the weapon that the miners drop. I did. This might be another copy. No, but it is smithing stone. The reason why I put the Claymore on is because Flame of the Redmanes is a very, very useful attack against those miners. They're very weak to fire and are relatively weak to blunt damage. Do I have any other knives I can use? Oh no, he's coming after me. Go. And yeah, these Verdon soldiers, using Impaling Thrust when they don't have their shields up is a very good way of dealing with them. Oh, wonderful, he broke my guard. Go. Got another copy of a Lordsworn Shield. I'm gonna go into item crafting, and I'm going to make some fire bombs. They'll come in handy for this area, I'm sure of it. A golden rune, very nice. So over here we have a tunnel. I'm going to run through here, got a weapon, talk to an NPC. The NPC is Mr. Jarman Alexander. Marvelous. Okay, mage both of them there. Oh, this one's dead and he dropped a 90. Bolts, always useful. So yeah, Gale Tunnel is different from other tunnels in that the top shaft is disconnected from the rest of the tunnel. Smithing Stone 2 is always useful for upgrading special equipment. So here's the brace. Pop another foul foot here. And now I might as well show just how good the firebomb is against the enemies here. Oh no, I did not mean to do that. Okay. Up here, kill this guy before he blows his war horn, and I'm dead anyway. Oh, whatever. Not the end of the world, I still have that grace that I can respawn at. One thing that may come in handy is, I would probably be good if I put Flame of the Redmanes on a weapon. I'm not gonna have the same stance breaking potential, but fire damage will come in handy against the enemies here. So, let's go. About the Radon Knights is that they let you resistance fire. Resistant does not mean immune. And Flame of the Redmanes really doesn't unburn these guys. It doesn't break their stance as easily as it did before, but it still deals pretty damn good fire damage. Pierce damage type is going to be your best friend down here. Oh, got the Radon Soldier's Greaves, and oh, I got their armor. Nice. So now I want to sneak around here. I want to make my way over to the soldier that's resting on that post. Take him out quickly because he has War Horn. and he will alert all of the enemies here to my presence if he has the opportunity to blow that horn. Also, if you find soldiers that have gleaming coals on their back, you can actually ignite the coals with any attack and do a ton of fire damage on them. Over here we have cracked crystals. They come in handy for crafting some items. More importantly, gold with Foulfoot. Oh, and he killed me. Wonderful. Again, if the miners end up killing you, it's not the end of the world. Maybe I should go with a blunt weapon. Let's just craft some more of these. Also, note that I'm using an unupgraded weapon here. From perspective, how good fire is. Especially with these enemies that are weak to that damage type. I'm gonna pop another Foulfoot here, just see if I can get any good shinies from the Verdon soldiers in the area. He's dead. This guy here is still alive. Funnily enough, there is a straight sword that has that sweeping attack as its heavy attack. Oh, Smithy Stone 3, nice. First copy of one. So there is a weapon that has that kind of sweeping attack. It's a straight sword. The only problem is it's not the Lordsworn straight sword that has that ability, at the very least. When we use it, it doesn't have that ability. But the straight sword that does have that ability is the Warhawk's Talon. What's cool is that Fire Breath ability is an ability that you can get with some torches. Verdon Soldier's Helm, nice, I got the full Verdon set. Another Verdon Soldier Helm, nice. So yeah, like I said, any fire damage on that guy will cause him to explode. Rude. And the ones with the flame on their backs, or the flaming bowls on their back, can drop. Explosive stone clumps. They're explosives like flaming pots. And now over here. I need to get away, need to get away, need to get away, need to get away, need to get away. Verdon Soldier has a great sword. I do not want to be on the receiving end of that. Case in point, great sword hits with a drunk. Sadly, you can't get the great sword off of him as an item drop. More cracked crystal off that guy, makes sense. He appears to be holding crystals in that pack. Pop another thing of Crimson, or no, Cerulean Tears, my mistake. So apparently the Crimson Tears aren't literal tears, it's sap from the Ear Tree. Got yet another red main coat, lucky me. So before I take that guy out, you can insta-kill that miner by using the, by igniting the coals on the back. Over here are some items that I do want to get. One stone scraps, Grace Mimic, all good. Nothing too obscene. I don't want to get any of the stones here because they are... Well, I guess I'll get one of them just to show what's in here. Smithing stone 4s are the common variety of smithing stone that you'll find here. So that's why I want to wait until later, because I will not have access to these stones. Or rather, I won't be able to utilize them to upgrade my gear, even though I do have access to them. And over here, we have Big Ugly herself. Or an octopus. Already their attacks while them flailing their tentacles around. One heavy attack with the Great Epee is enough to break their guard, and then you can use this to just chain break their guard. Large weapons are capable of chain breaking enemy guard with heavy attacks, so that's very good. You can also get the corpse of one of these land octopi. As a piece of headgear. More importantly, there are some silver fireflies here. Silver fireflies are found in caves, where there's very low ambient light, and gold fireflies are found near earth trees. Somber smithing stone 4 there. An upgrade material that I will actually be able to use pretty soon. So I do recommend picking that up. Especially if you want to bring a special weapon up to rank 5. Golden rune here. And although I died twice to the enemies here, with enough planning and an adequately infused weapon, you'll be able to make quick work of the enemies here. Also, that spear that I found across Naginata, best spear in the game in my opinion. Has a very diverse moveset for a spear. Has a lot of slashing and pokes. Has native bleed buildup. It's a very good weapon. Over here there's a door, and as you can see there's a figure standing back there, and that figure is none other than Alexander.
Oh, the esteemed warrior. Where did you spring from?
Right over there.
This was supposed to be a dead end, I'm sure of it. What's going on here? A door from thin air? Well, stranger things happen at sea, or so I'm told. But onward to the Kaled wilds. Gosh, that dead end had me rather stumped.
Okay, now I'm worried if Alexander suffered a contusion because we're not at sea.
It's time I set off to the festival, doesn't the thought?
Okay. Let me just activate this grace here. And the enemies here in Kaled are moderately powerful. But on a brighter note, I do have my favorite armor set in the game. Well, almost all of it anyway. I especially love the Radon Soldier helmet. I love the fangs. The description says that's styled after a lion's fang, but it kind of reminds me of the fangs of a scorpion. I really like the fashion of it. I like it so much so that I'm gonna back up this save now. So to do that, let me just quit the game to do a hard save. Go here to Redmains, date, and there we go. There's also a sword that I want to get in Kaled. It requires magic to utilize. If you started out as the prisoner, you would be able to use the weapon immediately. I started out as the vagabond because I enjoyed slight tankiness, so it will take me some slight investment to use it. Sword is over here at the Forsaken Ruins. You can easily drop down and get it from the rock balcony. But anyway. How many upgrade materials? If I have enough to bring a weapon to rank 3. enough to bring one weapon to rank 4. So yeah, well, let me do that. There's also a mine here that I can access, so should do that next, but first and foremost, let's see if my dumbass can actually use some sorceries. Oh, also, just gonna do this right here. So if you go to Tools, Inventory Editor, I'm gonna go here on the Save Manager, select my duder Ibrahim, go to Tools, Items, Gold Pickled Fowl Feet, let's set that to 500. Set. Successfully added items, wonderful. Now I'm just gonna quit out of the game for a moment and load this save, just to show my handiwork. So game shorts. Going to exit out of there because I don't want it to show up on here, even though it shouldn't. Start protected game .executable. Oh, by the way, if you want to play Elden Ring offline, what you can do is go to where the anti-cheat is, change the name to Start Protected Game, and then just add any character to the end of it. You can name it something like Start Protected Game 1, and then where it says .executable, just add another period, and then add a different file extension. So for example, you can call it startprotectedgame.executable.document.doc, and it'll change the file type. And then what you can do is, from the same file where Elden Ring and where the Start Protected Game is, you can make a copy of Elden Ring and run that as a protected game, but I find it a lot easier to just make a shortcut of Elden Ring and then name that as the Start Protected Game.executable. That way you can have the same functionality, but it's a lot less demanding on the hard drive. Delete all these, pick them up. And there we go. Now I have 500 gold pickle foul feet. Oh, and I'm fat rolling. Oh, nice. Fat. Okay, I am no longer fat rolling. So let's get out of here. Yeah, the weapon that's down there is a Sword of Saint Trina. It's an intelligence scaling straight sword that causes sweep buildup, and sweep is a pretty damn good status element for the early game. You know what? I could make a copy of it. We'll do that. Okay, great. Let's go here. Elden Ring the executable, open. Here's the newest cheat table, hopefully it works. Okay, good, it's not giving me any sass while running an outdated cheat table. We're just gonna go here, it's item give, go to weapons. Will be okay. Nickel and Knights. No, Sword of Saint. Go. Rapier, no. And shield. I also want to give myself a Skype club just to show it off. And there we go. As you can see, I have Sword of St. Trina, Ship Bells, Skype Club, Inlet Boil. And yeah, as you can see, there are the differences there. Sword of St. Trina causes sweep build-up. On attacking an enemy with it, you need 14 intelligence to wield it. So again, the prisoner class can use it from the onset. And yeah, I'm just going to reload the save now because I don't want to use all those items. The only two items I got from Cheat Engine that I really want to hold on to is the stave, just because it's a bitch to use. Or it's, well, not really so much that it's a bitch to get. You can easily, you have to kill the demi-human queen in the ruins, in the demi-human ruins to get it. I don't want to do that though, just because I think it's cruel. Like, come on, the demi-human queen is just there. She's not doing anything. Then all this, go. Exit out here with crossbow, just so I'm no longer fat rolling. Go. And I could also try to face off against Bloody Finger Nereus. He's pretty easy to take care of if you have a long weapon, like the Vagabond's Halberd. How many levels can I get right now? Okay. 1, 2. There we go. And Arcane is really the most I'm ever going to feasibly use for the time being. Just because it's the amount that I will need to use Bullet Flame Blade. Oh. So let me on the hammer. This is a pretty decent way to farm for the Bandit's Blade if you want it. Sacred Blade does a number on these guys. Poison Balloon here. For Nereus the Bloody Finger, I recommend using a long weapon. Good candidates include the Great Epee and the Halberd, for example. In fact, I'm gonna go with Vagabond starting Halberd, just to show how easily you can clown this guy. Also, Impet Cap, on wearing it, gives you 2 points in intelligence. Pretty soon I'm going to be invaded by one Bloody Finger Narius. Here he is. So easy way to defeat this guy is to just abuse the Halbert's charge forth ability. And upon wake up, he'll be easily knocked over with it.
The bloody finger. The end is nigh. For you. And your cessblood.
Here, he's trying to use Reduvia Bloodblade. Even though Narius is dual-wielding 2 Reduvia daggers, you only get 1 from him. God damn it, he killed me. Not the end of the world. Even if Narius manages to kill you, you can easily, fight him again with Yura's assistance. The only thing is, this fight's just a little bit annoying. He likes to use Reduvia Bloodblade attack on you. Try using the Great Spear, or the Great Lance on him. Still going to be mid-rolling with it, so that'll come in handy. But for right now, I'm just going to put the Morning Star on. Just because I like the, just because Sacred Blade comes in handy for dealing with the skeletons here. Oh hey, I was close enough to the Spirit Spring for it to push my fall. Oh, that's good to know, so double jump off the cliff and you'll hit the Spirit Spring. Skeletons, I want to activate an alpha just to see if I can get the weapon off the bandits. Not the end of the world. Bandit's Blade is a good weapon to have. So let's see how this works. And used properly unless wielded in both hands. That's the Great Spear moveset. Rune Skull. Again, the Lance is an okay weapon. I started out with Halberd, so I feel as though I don't need it. Okay. If you want it, go for it. This one also has Charge Forth as a weapon arc. Okay. How was I able to command Brad from this?
If it isn't Narius. The bloody finger. The end is nigh. For you. And your
Okay,
cessblood.
now I want to recover and heal. Hopefully he doesn't start spamming the Reduvia Bloodblade attack on me. Okay, now Yuri's joining in. Down, Forth is a good attack to use on Narius because you're almost guaranteed to knock his sorry ass over. And down he goes. So from Narius you get the Reduvia. Its weapon art is the Reduvia Bloodblade. Pretty powerful attack. You need 13 arcane to use it, right now I only have 10. I believe the bandit class can use this immediately upon getting it. Jagged dagger with a distinctive curved blade used by the noble servants of the Lord of Blood. The dagger rips flesh as it enters, inflicting blood loss with sickening efficacy. A proud testament to the success of its vicious design, the weapon is perpetually coated in blood. Unique skill of Reduvia Bloodblade. Slash the wicked dagger, transforming the never-drying bloodstains into airborne blades that cause blood loss, can be fired in rapid succession, as Narius was showing. Again, it's a pretty damn powerful weapon. More importantly, though, there's a merchant here in this tunnel that I want to try and take out. Go to Great Epee. Why not? Here is the Murkwater Cave. Gonna go back to the leather. Trousers. Apologies for that, I yawned. Anyway, there are some traps here that consist of bells attached to trip wires. Oh, wonderful. I'm poisoned. Okay. Butterflies and a mushroom. Tell these, bandits use weapons similar to those of the Godric soldiers, and the reason why is because they are Godric soldiers who defected. Got him purged poison. Mushrooms in that box. I don't know why, but the collar on the surcoat makes my dude's shoulders look much bigger than they are. Well, whatever. So in order to initiate the boss here, you need to go in here, run over to this box, open it. You don't have to pilfer its contents. I'm going to.
Well. Thought you'd just help yourself to a man's personal belongings, huh? You scheming little thief. The gods demand repentance.
Oh, and here's Patches.
Cough up your coin. All of it.
The aromatic he uses is one which lowers your attack if you get caught.
Wait, please. I surrender. White flag and all.
Sure thing. Here, let me help us out. Oh, never mind, I don't
Come
need these.
round, have you? I knew you would. You're a man of reason. Through and through. Ah. Well, what do you know? You're tarnished, like me. Now, how did I get that wrong? I took you for a demi-human or some such. But an innocent mistake, I assure you. Well, water under the bridge. Now we're squared up. How about we play nice from now on?
Here. Sorry about that, Mr. Patches. I thought that you were one of those marauding bandits. So yeah, let's just forgive and forget.
A true man of reason. Just what I like about you.
Fair enough.
I'm Patches. Patches the Untethered.
Greetings.
Tarnished like you, only free-spirited. Nomadic, you might say. Only for now, those retired soldiers turned bandits. They're paying for my gruel. In exchange for my, well, showing them the ropes.
I see.
But honestly, this looting racket is bloody terrifying. Frankly, I'm ready to wash my hands clean. Maybe set up a legitimate shop. So don't be a stranger. I'll be ready to wheel and deal come next time.
Okay, and with that, if we go back to Murkwater Cave, Patches will be there as a merchant. So that's good. Let's see. So, last thing I want to do is kill a boss over in Nebula Lake. You know what? I don't need the Sword of St. Trina at this moment to show off what sleep can do to the boss here. There's a boss here that's very susceptible to sleep. You know what, forget it. Let me just... just gonna give myself a copy of the Sword of St. Trina just to show it off. No, I don't want to... I want to put up properties of the parameter. I just want to give myself a weapon. Trina. Find... Oh, I'm in thousands. Believe me, weapons. Find... Trina. Give. Didn't select anything within the parameter patcher, so that shouldn't have done anything. Now we have the Sword of St. Trina. I'm curious to see if I can't cause the sleep buildup just by using it natively. Great, now I'm paranoid. Give me a moment, I'm just gonna restart. Save from here. I think I'm gonna terminate the stream from here, and come next time I'll just redo everything with patches and Narius. And if I give myself the Sword of St. Trina, I'm going to make sure not to touch anything else, because now I'm worried that I may have done something to the game's files. So give me a second. I'm just going to go into the thing here, load it. Okay. Back over to Start Protected Game. Let's load up Ibrahim, and here's the cheat engine. I'm just gonna give myself the Sword of St. Trina already. Forget it. I'm just gonna make sure to do this as quickly as possible without messing with anything else. Keep current code list, yes. Enable. Self items. Item give. Trina. Trina, good. I really want to do this just to mess around with dual wielding some weapons when the DLC comes out, so I'll also give myself a death poker. And I'll just save this over a different file. Why not? There we go. Burns is the one that has the added weapons in there. Apologies if I just want to say this. Just wanted to get this because I wanted to show something cool. Even if you spawned in a copy of the Sword of St. Trina, if you go to the location where it's normally found in, by the way, is right here, Rabu Balcony. Okay, so you want to drop down cliffs over to here. Take ruins, use stone sword key to open up this. Entrance to the basement, and in here is the Sword of St. Trina proper. And one cool thing about this, still got the special animation for getting it, so that's cool. If it's something you get from a boss, or if it's a special weapon, you still get the message for getting it, as opposed to it just showing up as like a weapon that you already acquired, like the straight swords or the armor. Here's the Death Poker, by the way. Barbed rod carried by the Death Birds. Birds are graveyard firekeepers, as they rake out the ash remains of the dead from their tombs. For whatever reason, it deals standard damage. Considering the fact that it's a fire poker, it should deal blunt damage. But I digress. Weapon art close flame ignition. If I have the Imped Cat on, I can use it immediately. Oh no, wait, that needs 17 intelligence to use. My mistake. Why did I think that... Oh, it needs 17 dexterity. That's why I can't use it. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. It's not the intelligence that's the problem in this case, it's dexterity. Oh yeah, that's cool. Again, Sword of St. Trina, a silver sword carried by the clerics of St. Trina, inflicts sweep ailment upon foes. St. Trina is an enigmatic figure. Some say that she's a comely young girl, others are sure that he's a boy. The only certainty is that their appearance was as sudden as their disappearance. Unique skill is Mist of Slumber. Release a faint purple mist that spreads across in a wide arc. The mist inflicts sweep on foes, and it also buffs your weapon. Buffs the weapon in question with more sweep buildup. Sword of St. Trina is a fascinating weapon. Damage isn't all that good, but the fact that it causes sweep buildup is pretty damn nice. Reloading the previous save. And yeah, come next time, I'll be sure to take care of Narius and Patches again, and then from there, I'll finish exploring Windgrave. So I think that'll do it for this video. I'm going to put the end card on, and if you're watching this on Twitch and you enjoy this, if you've already followed, then by all means, I hope you enjoy the video, and if you haven't followed and you enjoy this, then by all means follow. It's free. If you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed this, by all means like the video and subscribe. If you did not like this, however, it's perfectly fine to dislike. I'm going to sign off now, and it is time for the end card. Okay, so I selected to raid a channel known as Papamuck. The guy's cool. He's currently playing a game called Visage. To the person watching this on Twitch, I'm going to initiate the raid now, and I hope you enjoy his content.